No human has set foot on the moon since Apollo 17 in 1972. Half a century has passed. Technology has advanced beyond imagination. Yet no one has returned to that silent, glowing sphere that watches us from the night sky. Why? Because the Apollo era was about winning a race, not building a future. The goal back then wasn't to stay, it was simply to get there first. Costs were enormous, technology was limited, and the vision was short-term. Now everything has changed. With the Artemis program, NASA is preparing to send humans back to the moon. But this time, not just for a quick visit. The new goal is to establish a permanent human presence, to build bases, laboratories, and power systems on the lunar surface. But why does it matter so much? Because the moon isn't just a scientific curiosity, it's the key to our future. The moon's frozen water can be turned into oxygen and rocket fuel, making it a vital resource for deeper space exploration. It can also serve as a launch point for missions to Mars. So, Artemis isn't just a return to the moon, it's the first real step toward humanity's long-term future in space. This time, we're not going just to visit, we're going to stay. So what exactly is Artemis? In short, it's NASA's program to return humans to the moon. But it's far more than just a comeback story. It's the foundation of humanity's next great chapter in space exploration. Launched in the 2020s, the program takes its name from Artemis, the Greek goddess of the moon and the twin sister of Apollo, a symbolic connection to NASA's legendary Apollo missions. This time, however, the mission's purpose goes beyond reaching the moon. The goal isn't simply to visit again, it's to stay, to build, and to explore sustainably. NASA describes Artemis as a plan for sustainable exploration. Instead of short stays, astronauts will construct long-term bases, conduct in-depth research, and prepare for future missions to Mars. And this time, NASA isn't working alone. The Artemis program is a global collaboration involving SpaceX, the European Space Agency, ESA, Japan's JAXA, and the Canadian Space Agency. It's not just an American effort, it's a project for all humanity. At the heart of Artemis are two groundbreaking technologies: the SLS, Space Launch System, the most powerful rocket ever built, and the Orion spacecraft, designed to safely carry astronauts to lunar orbit and back. Together, they form the backbone of NASA's next generation of space travel. So, Artemis isn't just another mission. It's a turning point, a moment when humanity stops dreaming about the future of space and actually starts building it. Artemis I quietly made history in 2022. There were no astronauts on board, no grand speeches, just a mission that would lay the foundation for everything to come. Its purpose was simple but crucial: to test every system, every component, and every scenario before sending humans back to the moon. The mission began with the launch of NASA's next generation SLS, Space Launch System, a rocket even more powerful than the legendary Saturn V. It carried the Orion spacecraft on a 25-day journey that covered more than 430,000 kilometers around the moon before returning safely to Earth. Why was this such a big deal? Because Artemis I was essentially a full-scale rehearsal. It was about proving that the technology worked. From navigation and communication systems to heat shields and re-entry procedures, every part of the mission had to perform flawlessly. During re-entry, Orion's heat shield endured temperatures of nearly 2,800 degrees Celsius, 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than molten lava, as it plunged through Earth's atmosphere before splashing down safely in the Pacific Ocean. It was a breathtaking validation of NASA's engineering. And then there were the images, stunning photos of the Earth rising behind the moon. In those moments, our home appeared as a small blue dot floating in the darkness, a humbling reminder of why humanity reaches for the stars. Artemis, I didn't carry people, but it carried our hopes. It proved that the systems are ready, that the dream of returning to the moon is within reach. Quietly, without fanfare, it became the unsung hero that made everything else possible. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, because this is where things start to get truly exciting. Artemis II is scheduled for 2026, the first crewed mission of the Artemis program, and it will carry humans around the moon for the first time in over 50 years. This time there will be 4 astronauts on board: Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. Each represents a new chapter in space exploration. Victor Glover will become the first black astronaut to travel to the moon, and Christina Koch will be the first woman on a lunar mission. This flight isn't just about science, it's about history, diversity, and the future of humanity in space. The mission's goal is not to land, but to test all human-rated systems in real conditions: life support, communication, safety protocols, and emergency operations. It's the final major test before humans walk on the moon again. During the approximately 10-day journey, the crew will travel over 400,000 kilometers from Earth, orbit the moon, and return home. Along the way, they'll witness views that no human has seen in half a century: the Earth rising over the lunar horizon, the silence of deep space, and the vastness that separates our world from the unknown. If Artemis I was the rehearsal, Artemis II is the dress rehearsal with humanity on stage. Everything learned here will pave the way for Artemis III, the mission that finally takes us back to the lunar surface. More than just a test flight, Artemis II symbolizes something bigger: the rebirth of human space exploration. For the first time in generations, we are not just looking up at the moon, we're going back. And this time, we're not going alone. This is the moment the world has been waiting for: the first human landing on the moon since 1972. Artemis III, planned for around 2027, will take astronauts to the moon's south pole, a place no one has ever been before. This region is full of mysteries. Beneath its icy shadows may lie one of the most valuable discoveries in human history: water in the form of ice. That means potential drinking water, oxygen, and even rocket fuel, essential resources for long-term missions and future travel to Mars. The crew will first travel to lunar orbit aboard the Orion spacecraft, launched by the powerful SLS rocket. From there, they'll transfer into SpaceX's Starship human landing system, which will carry them down to the surface. What makes Artemis III truly historic is not just the technology, it's the people. The mission will include the first woman and the first black astronaut ever to walk on the moon. Their footprints will mark not only a new step for science, but also a new milestone for humanity. Once on the surface, the astronauts will conduct scientific experiments, collect samples, and test new tools designed for long-duration lunar missions. Everything they learn here will help NASA and its partners prepare for sustainable living on the moon and beyond. Artemis III isn't just about going back, it's about going forward. It's the moment when humanity proves that the moon isn't the limit, it's the beginning. After humanity sets foot on the moon again, it's time to build something that lasts. Artemis IV marks the start of that transformation, from short visits to permanent presence. This mission will focus on assembling the Lunar Gateway, a small space station that will orbit the moon. Think of it as a cosmic outpost, a halfway point between Earth and the lunar surface. It will serve as a staging hub for astronauts, science missions, and future Mars expeditions. Gateway isn't just another space station. It's designed to be modular, flexible, and sustainable. Over time, international partners, including the European Space Agency, ESA, Japan JAXA, and Canada CSA, will contribute advanced life support systems, robotic arms, and research modules. Artemis IV will also involve new technology: the upgraded SLS Block 1B rocket, capable of carrying both the Orion spacecraft and heavy lunar modules in a single launch. This advancement means NASA can deliver larger components for the moon base and begin testing systems for long-term habitation. The mission's ultimate goal is to lay the groundwork for a permanent lunar settlement, a network of habitats, solar power systems, and resource facilities on the moon's surface. These will make it possible for humans not only to survive, but to live and work beyond Earth. With Artemis IV, the dream of a moon base stops being science fiction and starts becoming reality, a vital stepping stone for humanity's next giant leap: Mars. Artemis V isn't just another moon mission, it's the bridge to Mars. Building on everything learned from the previous Artemis missions, this phase will push the limits of human endurance, technology, and ambition. During Artemis V, astronauts will once again travel to the moon's south pole, where the first elements of a permanent lunar base will already be in place. They'll expand the habitat, test new life support systems, and begin using local resources like lunar ice, to produce water, oxygen, and even rocket fuel. This mission will also carry the European-built ESPR-IT refueling module and the International Habitat module to the Lunar Gateway, turning it into a fully operational deep space hub. From this station, future missions to Mars will be planned, launched, and coordinated. But Artemis V is more than just construction. It's preparation for the unknown. Astronauts will train for months-long missions, experiment with radiation shielding, and test equipment designed for Mars-like conditions. Every system tested on the Moon will help ensure survival on the red planet. NASA's long-term vision becomes clear here, the Moon as a launchpad for Mars. Once humanity proves it can live and work sustainably on another world, the next step is inevitable, sending humans to Mars, not just for exploration, but for permanent settlement. Artemis I closes one chapter and opens another. The message is clear. The Moon is no longer the destination. It's the beginning of our journey into the stars. The Artemis missions are not just about returning to the Moon. They mark the beginning of a new era for humanity. For the first time in history, we're not going into space just to explore and come back. We're going to stay, build, and thrive beyond Earth. The Moon is no longer a distant dream seen through telescopes. It's becoming our next home. Every launch, every landing, and every footprint left on the lunar surface is a step toward a future where humans live among the stars. This time, it's different. We're going not as visitors, but as pioneers, scientists, engineers, and dreamers who will lay the foundation for generations to come. The Artemis Program represents cooperation between nations, innovation through technology, and a belief that the impossible can once again become real. And as we look toward the horizon, toward Mars and beyond, one message echoes louder than ever. We're not done exploring. We're just getting started. If you've enjoyed this journey through NASA's Artemis missions, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more stories about space, discovery, and the incredible future waiting beyond our world.